day I went on Facebook, which is something I haven't been doing lately because I've been too caught up in my video a day world. But I decided to go look around, see what people was talking about, what was in the news, how people was feeling about it and whatnot. So I get over here and I go to this group that I participate in for people that are 40 and over. Most of them in there are black, judging by their profile pictures. Now, admittedly, there's thousands of members in this group, but you usually see, I'd say, the same couple of hundred people posting. You know how that is in groups, large groups. People are members of them, but they don't really post. They probably don't even come over. So you see the group stays active. There's like a core group of a couple of hundred people. So, over the few months I've been in this group, I've, seen the same people posting over and over. And what I noticed today as I scrolled down the timeline, since I hadn't been in the group for a while, is how many posts there were, praise the Lord, Jesus, this and that, and blessings and all the stuff. But then, seriously, dozens of them. But as I went, further down, I'm like, wait a minute, this wasn't the woman posting last week about how she will suck this and lick that and do it. Okay, you know what I'm saying. Let me tone this down. But you know what I'm saying? So, just doing straight hoe shit. And so I'm like, okay, now, so today you're talking about your blessings and stuff, because it's the day before you go to church. But, just last week, you was just doing all the most and showing your titties online and, just doing everything just very vulgar presentation, just unladylike. So then I'm like, okay, I asked, why do you guys always post all this stuff about blessings and God and Jesus and stuff when you don't live that lifestyle? What is all this lip service that you're doing? Why do you do that? Okay, I was just asking a question because it was really curious to me. It's like you're doing two different things. It's like, are you bipolar? What is this? And you would have thought I said that, I was going to kill God or something, because instead of answering the question, well, some of the guys did ask the question because they were curious like me as to why that was happening. But most of the women just got defensive and went on the attack. And, instead of answering my question or even saying why they, on a personal level, would post those things. Instead, they're like, well, if you don't like it, get out the group and, just scroll on by then and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm asking a question here, because I've noticed this is something that black people do all the time, always talking about God and Jesus and saying amen to everything and have a blessed this and be blessed that. And all, everything is about religion and quoting scriptures and all this kind of stuff, right? That's what they do. And so I'm like, but then, okay, if you really are into that religion like that, on that level, then why y'all having all these boyfriends that you fucking and ain't married? You talking you want to live with the dude, you're doing all this stuff, and you having babies by these men you ain't married to, some of them 3, 4, 5 babies, dragging them all up to the church and talking about they believe in God and Jesus and blessings in it. Okay, I can't kind of align that. It's like you're doing what everybody who is considered a sinner would do. You be doing more than an atheist. I'm an atheist and I don't even do all this stuff. And then but you want to talk about church and blessings and God and Jesus and put yourself in a position where you think you have the right to condemn other people who don't believe in God and Jesus and this and that. But it's like by your behavior, you don't believe in it either, because you ain't doing shit that Jesus, you say you love Jesus so much, but what are you doing? You just totally disrespected Jesus. You're not doing what Jesus said to do. You're not handling your life the way Jesus said to handle it. You're not following the 10 commandments that God gave to Moses. You're not doing the things that are the basis of your religion that you claim you love so much. You're not doing it. That means you're a fake Christian. That means you're a convenient Christian. That means you're full of shit. That's what it basically means. You're a hypocrite. So you don't have any right to tell anybody that they're wrong for not believing in God or Jesus when your behavior shows that you do not as well. Okay? And I mean, I'm all for people adhering to their religion. You know what I mean? As like I said, I don't condemn people for their religious beliefs. Do you? But I do have a problem when you try to position yourself to condemn other people for not believing when your behavior is in direct contradiction to your stated belief system. Okay, so your words are saying one thing, but your actions are showing something else. And that's the part that has me scratching my head and like wondering what's going on here. Um, the drugging, the drinking, the screwing like bunny rabbits, having babies out of wedlock, going through all these conniptions, and then get mad at me because I asked the question. What's that all about? I don't know. I mean, why keep talking about some guidelines and principles for living that you don't actually follow? Why do you keep doing that? That's what I was asking them in the group. What is the purpose of all these posts praising a God and a Jesus that you guys claim to love, but that your behavior is not showing that you really do? And it's like, you just go up and down the post and see the wide variety of posts that they make and the comments they make. They going from hoochie to none or something, all in, one group. It's really interesting. So I got myself in trouble with that today, but it just was really funny to me how they turned it around. One woman says, well, you're throwing shade at God. I'm like, okay, we got some reading comprehension problems here, big time. Nowhere did I throw shade at God. I'm throwing shade at you because you the one cutting up and acting up and not doing what you claim God told you to do. But you claim that you love God so much. How does that work in your mind? How do you do that? Where does that contradiction, how you work that out? Because I'm real curious how that works in real life. But she didn't say nothing else because, I wasn't mad. I'm just asking. And, all I got back was a lot of defensiveness and anger. And then they try to, turn it into personal attacks on me with the straw man arguments. And, one woman said, oh, you've been on this earth several decades or something. And why are you even thinking like that? And I'm like, well, basically she was trying to throw age shade. But it's a group of people 40 and over. I mean, I would hope that she was in that group herself. But I told her, but your immaturity makes me question that. If we're going to start throwing shade, let me get in on this party. But I don't know. If you guys have some thoughts on it, I would be really curious. I mean, I've noticed this, like I said, black women, you go on their pages and they Twitter lines and they Instagrams and whatnot, and it's just full of all this religious rhetoric and memes and stuff and stories about, how God saves people or whatnot. But I'm like, okay, but how does that work if God is so good? Why are black women being murdered by black men like we are? If God is so good, why did you end up, so poverty stricken and getting your ass kicked by this man that you supposed to love? I mean, why is this happening? Why do you have a miscarriage and, lose? Why is your child being murdered? What is going on? So then they say, well, that's the devil. I said, but you love God, and if you praying to God for forgiveness and stuff, then shouldn't God be, like your best boy and whatnot, have your back and stuff and be protecting you from bullshit since you're just such a follower of God and Jesus? I'm not understanding. So if bad stuff can happen to you and bad stuff can happen to me, then how is you believing in Jesus and God benefiting you? How is that working for you? And, it's just one woman pointed out that, well, the main thing about it is they just want to feel good. And one woman told her, I just want to feel good. And so they're looking at religion for that. I'm like, wow. And, so it's just some questions that I have. You know how I do. I see things and then I'm like, this is kind of interesting. How does this work? So if you guys have any thoughts, I'd be interested in hearing them. This is definitely not a video I plan to do, But it is a big question. It's something, addresses something that I've noticed for the years, but it just seemed like, I guess because I've been away from Facebook so long, and I just saw dozens of them. As I scrolled down, it was just like so in my face. I couldn't, how usually it's stuff mixed in with other things, so you can ignore it, you know what I mean? But I was going down the street, and that's all I saw. One after another, after another, after another, and I was hitting a page down, page down, page, and it was just that was all that there was. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with these women? So that's how this came about. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Um, I really, don't understand it. If God and Jesus is doing black women such a favor and got their back so much, then why are black women at the bottom? So financially, professionally, making strides in some respects, but a lot of those women, are not Christians. So it's like, how is it that if you have these masses of millions of women that believe in this thing, yet there's millions of women that are at poverty level or below, that are trying to raise children on their own, that have all this stuff, these things going on? How is this belief in this dead person from some ancient book, how is that helping you? And what is it doing to change the situation that you're in? And I also think, just as an aside with what was going on, we talked about the other day about the abuses that a lot of women take. I was wondering how much of that turn the other cheek and you love your neighbor and all this other stuff, these colloquialisms that come with religion that tell you to suffer and abide by other people and to submit and all this other stuff. How much of that programming comes into play in the minds of black women? Could that be one of the reasons why there's so many men who think they're superior to women, and women who feel that men are superior to them, and that stay with men even though the men are not treating them well and respecting them? Because the same way that they get treated by God and Jesus, they get treated the same way treated by these men, getting their asses kicked, and none of these male entities are helping them. So why do you believe in them? You believe in these bullshit ass men, and you believe in those invisible beings that are also represented as males. So you're surrounded by males that are not helping you. Why do you still do what you do and promote that? I'm very, very curious. And I'm serious too. I'm trying to, kind of rectify some belief systems that black women have, and ask you guys to think about stuff. That's what I do. You just go along life and you have like a plan and you keep doing the same thing and the same shit keeps happening to you. Well, I'm asking you to stop and consider what is going on in your life, why it's there, and to question if this person, this situation, this job, this friend, this belief system are actually helping you or not. Okay? Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I'll be looking for your comments. I anticipate this is going to be bring out a lot of feelings in my peoples. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.